Still having that trouble with YouTube. How are you? Let's do this. Welcome. I'll wait a moment for people to show up. I'll close this while we're waiting. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started with the readings. And someday I'll figure out why YouTube is acting so strange. I'm going to start by reading our prayer for a healed America. Thank you for being here. Please know that you can ask questions here, so think about your questions. God is all in all, the divine presence that is everywhere. There is no spot where God is not. We declare that we, the people of the United States, along with the rest of the world, are one with this divine presence. Divine order is working through the situations of divisiveness and the appearances of hatred. We know and experience that everything is always happening for the ultimate outcome of healing and rebirth everywhere. Darkness that has been manifest is now fully removed and dissolved. Those who have outpictured hatred and vitriol are now stopped in their tracks. We see evidence now that the light is presently in the process of eliminating evil, stopping all violence, healing and protecting this and all nations. Enemy countries that may have received United States secret information find that it has been rendered useless. Potential plans for any and all attacks are stopped. Harm to the people simply does not occur. Domestic terrorist extremist groups and individuals drop their arms and weapons, deciding that the planning of attacks on our nation and all nations is useless and simply not worth it. Collectively, we choose to have and to contribute to a country and a world of peace. Justice is now in full operation and truth prevails, replacing all lies and negative rhetoric. We see the triumph of peace over conflict. Leaders who stand for love and unity prevail and win. Those who have stood for hatred and vitriol and violence now fall from positions of power, according to the divine will. People everywhere demand and stand for the infinite power of love and interconnected harmony with one another. We eliminate from this prayer treatment any and all manifestations of fear, panic, doubt, worry, now and in the future. Negative emotions have lost all power. Negative outcomes simply do not happen. Positive occurrences and progress of the case, no matter the outward appearances. We work together as one country and one world to make America a safe and protected nation that is a beacon for a working democracy for the good of this nation and the good of the world. America heals now and becomes better than ever before. As we release this treatment to the divine law of harmony and good, we give thanks that it is so, and so it is. So the theme for July, once again, I apologize for this weird screen thing that's happening. I've got to figure out the problem. I did figure it out on Sunday, but it kind of went back. Our theme for July is, I was kind of reflecting on a theme of kind of independence. So the theme for July is the role of divine autonomy. And autonomy to me means our sense of being independent beings, our sense of being unique, and that is the title of the sermon. You are a unique divine blessing. And the sort of a might sound like a conflicted idea that we are all as unique as our fingerprints, and we are all one. We're all the same. We're all connected by our shared divine nature. That we are all from the same source. We're all in this, Deepak Chopra used to call like a primordial soup. We're all traveling together. I've mentioned before that it's striking to me how often I'm giving a talk or doing a YouTube live stream or Church of Spirituality, and I'm really struck by how often I'll tune in to somebody else's YouTube channel or some other interview and find that they're talking about exactly the same thing and almost like the same words too. So we all have our own autonomy, and our autonomy is important. Our sense of being separate from the rest in the sense that we are different. We're all different. We all come in with a different blueprint. Similar in so many ways, but in specific ways, really different. We don't all think the same. We don't all take information the same. We don't all have the same exact at all, like childhood experience. Even people that grow up in this under the same roof, they don't all have the same experience of childhood. Right? I know I have 5 siblings. We all kind of had a similar but a different experience based on our particular personality type or whatever it might have been. So it's a little bit complicated to think of it that way. Like, it's my responsibility to express my uniqueness. It's my responsibility to be myself, to shine my own light in the way that I feel fit, in the way that I feel guided to use my own talents and skills and my own sort of inner promptings and inner voice that speaks only to me. And at the same time, to recognize that who I am and my uniqueness contributes to the betterment of the whole, and it's an inclusive way to think. It's an inclusive way to be in life. And I know we have epidemics of loneliness in this country. The latest statistic I heard is 1 out of 2 people report that they're lonely. And part of that is because we don't have as much community. And in community, we feel that our uniqueness contributes to the betterment of the whole. So let's just examine our lives and examine, what happens in our lives. And are we withholding our uniqueness? Are we withholding our unique gifts? Are we, for some reason, feeling like they don't measure up, or that nobody needs them, or that we're not that special? And your autonomy, your autonomous self is a special thing. And when you consider yourself as part of the rest of this organism, this human species collective organism, when you recognize that you're part of that, you will include yourself, and you will feel more whole as an individual. That's like a puzzle piece that belongs in the whole puzzle, or the whole like the different patches of a quilt, right? If you have any questions, feel free to put them up, and thank you for hitting the thumbs up, and thank you for being here. Much appreciated. Our first reading from Sunday is entitled, it's from a book called Lessons in Truth by H. Emily Cady. It's C-A-D-Y. I don't know her history that much, but I'm going to look into it a little bit more. There weren't too many spiritual teachers that were females that I get to draw upon. So I really appreciate this reading. It's very short and simple, but very, very profound. Each man, I'm just going to say person, because I know the patriarchy, doesn't need to be here. Each human must sooner or later learn to stand alone with his or her God. Nothing else avails. So I chose this because you've probably heard it said, we're born alone, we die alone, right? And that's not to make us feel even more lonely. That's to make us recognize that we are unique in that aspect. So each person must sooner or later learn to stand alone with his God. So with your own calling, your own purpose, your own way, like I was talking about, your own way of living your life, your own talents and skills, you stand alone with this in God. And another way of saying this is you have to be you. Nope, nothing else will do, right? What's that saying? Be yourself. Everybody else is taken, right? Have you heard that one? Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. So learn to stand alone with our God. Nothing else avails. Nothing else will ever make you master of your own destiny, right? Because you have to know what's kind of driving you as an individual to master your own destiny. Our destinies are unique and contribute to the whole. There is in your own indwelling Lord all the life and health, all the strength and peace and joy, all the wisdom and support that you can ever need or desire. No one can give to you as can this indwelling God. God is the spring of all joy and comfort and power. And I encourage you to call God whatever feels comfortable to you, because you as an autonomous individual have your own sense of what that God means to you. I love this reading. I could read this reading every single day as a prayer. I have done that with our readings before from our Sunday service. So, like I did on Sunday, I'm going to read it one more time. Each person must sooner or later learn to stand alone with his or her God. Nothing else avails. Nothing else will ever make you master of your own destiny, except to acknowledge that God is part of me and guides me and directs me, and my own special relationship with that God. There is in your own indwelling Lord all the life and health, all the strength and peace and joy, all the wisdom and support that you can ever need or desire. No one can give to you as can this indwelling Father, Mother, God. It is a spring of all joy and comfort and power. And I believe that the reason that I love this reading so much and I find it so powerful is because it's almost like it's saying, look no further. You don't have to keep seeking. Look no further. Rest your weary head and your weary feet. It's right here. Stand alone with your God. Recognize your own personal kind of constitution. And go with that. Because this is between you and God. Do we have any questions? Do we have any comments? Okay, Ernest Holmes, The Science of Mind. All mystics have been normal people. That is, they have lived just as other people have lived. The only difference has been that they have sensed a greater reality, namely the presence of the living spirit. So you could say, in a way, Ernest Holmes is talking about what Emily Cady was talking about. We stand alone with this God. So all mystics have been normal people. That is, they have lived just as other people have lived. The only difference has been that they have sensed a greater reality, namely the presence of the living Spirit. The true mystic in every age has come into the world of affairs and lived among men, sometimes as a teacher and sometimes in the ordinary walks of life, but always in a perfectly natural way. There is nothing peculiar or strange about a mystic. People who shroud themselves in a cloak of mystery are not true mystics, but are laboring under mental delusions and subjective hallucinations. Which this brings to mind when Jesus the Christ would say, when you pray, pray in private, which is another way of saying it's between you and God. It's not between you and them, like Mother Teresa would say. It's always been between you and God anyway. It's always been between you and the higher power anyway. And that beautiful prayer, maybe I'll pull that out for next week. That'd be a good reading, that Mother Teresa prayer poem that says anyway. It's between you and God. So a mystic, so Jesus the Christ would say, when you pray, don't make a big hullabaloo about it, right? That's my way of talking like Jesus, right? Don't make a big production out of it. Like that's really ego based. There's no need for that. We really get caught up in our egos so often. You know, some of us are here to learn to learn to keep that ego in check. Some of us I know that's true for me, to keep that in check, to keep that ego, under control. If you're a true mystic, you don't need all that hullabaloo and all that. It's between you and God. So people who shroud themselves in a cloak of mystery are not true mystics. They may be sincere in their beliefs, but they are nonetheless wrong in their methods. And what Ernest Holmes means is it's not really a judgment. It's like they're kind of missing the point. It is a question if a real mystic would even realize that he is a mystic. Now you can probably think of people that you know that you have met that are just beautiful, lovely, wonderful people that are healing and kind and caring and compassionate that would never consider themselves like a holy mystic. And that's what Ernest Holmes is kind of referring to here. And even Ernest Holmes he was just kind of a regular guy himself. But I consider Ernest Holmes was a mystic. He was he delved into these areas of metaphysics and how it works and ancient religions and wisdoms and philosophies. So he too, I would consider Ernest Holmes was a mystic. I consider Sadhguru a mystic. He's called that in a lot of circles. They call him a mystic. So, it is a question if a real mystic would even realize that he's a mystic. A real mystic doesn't go around going, I'm a mystic, I'm a mystic, I'm a mystic, right? He would be more liable to think of himself simply as one who understands that he is one with the whole. There it is again. That you, in your autonomy, in your autonomous self, you are enough for one thing. You are enough, and you are one with the whole. You've probably heard it said, as go one, as one goes, whatever happens with one affects the rest. So no man, no woman is an island unto themselves. But we are all different. And that's the beauty of our existence. That's the beauty of, really, it's what it is to be a human. Is to live in that paradox where it's me and my uniqueness showing up to be part of this fabric of humanity. With all my gifts and all my talents. Being offered to the whole, being offered to the group. Oh, we have one commenter in the chat. Do feel free to ask questions. If there aren't any questions, I will just close for now. Our sessions on Tuesday nights are just about 20 minutes, but we'll read what John is saying. I agree with you about listening to God, and I thank Him always for guiding me in the right direction. I do not feel at all weird about telling others that I say prayers for everyone. That's great. That's awesome. And that's how we use our uniqueness to contribute to the whole too, through prayer and intention. When you have somebody pray for you and intend for you, miracles happen. And that's another demonstration of we have our own unique ways, but we're all in this together, right? Thank you so much for showing up. Please share Church of Spirituality with your friends, with people that you know could use this information, especially the Sunday service. It's a labor of love. The numbers went way down just because I created a brand new channel, so I'm counting on you to help to grow the numbers. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, feel free to email me at AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. And Church of Spirituality.online is where you go if you want to go over the program from Sunday and also to donate. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening, or whenever you're watching this, have a beautiful day. And we'll see you real soon. Namaste. Be good to yourselves. Shine your light.